As I can scan, you can see the first dock floats. Pontoon boat. Pontoon boat. There's the crappie. There's a break in between. There's a walkway right there. There's another pontoon boat. That's an open slip. So the whole bar is the boat slips. Okay, we got some crappie right up here on the front of this boat. Slab daddy. So here we go. That's what we got right there. I'm gonna measure this. We're gonna see what we got right here. That's 13. That's not bad. Pretty fish. The community slips, they don't have a roof on them. And they got the ties that are holding, you got the main walk, and then you got these fingers, and these are double slip docks. So these fingers are coming out, and there's enough room for 2 pontoon boats. Those fish are holding down close to the bottom, down pretty deep. In the middle, pretty much the center of these docks, and there happens to be one pontoon slip that's not there. I want to get up close, turn the front of the boat so that you can see the bar that's tying these fingers together, that I'm having to make sure if you catch fish on a community slip like this, you got to get that fish up and over that bar, or he's going to break you off if he goes under it. Okay, so what we had when we came by, went ahead and took a screenshot of the crappie that are right here. And you can see the shadows of the crappie. On the side scan, you're seeing a solid line that's right here. That's my transducer. It's mounted to my port side pontoon, the very back of it. This little faint double line, well, that's my trolling motor turbulence. That's how sensitive the side scan is. These docks are double slip boat docks. So they tie those fingers together, and when the bar runs all the way across, that's the open slip. So there's a walkway right here, or a dock finger. There's a walkway right here and a dock finger. You can see a little bit of line. The little line right here is where the side scan is picking up dock float. So there's a walkway that goes all the way back to a center walk. Those crappie are right up underneath that center walk, up underneath that right pontoon boat. Pretty big school. It covers up a basically 20-foot wide slip. So the bars that are underwater, hopefully I got a good shot of those to show you what those look like and what's going on with those particular bars. That's where the real bright spots on each end are the vertical posts that come down and go into the water. So we're looking down on it. This black part is the water column. The side scan is shooting down at a 45-degree angle till it hits the bottom of the lake. But it's still, as that beam shoots at a 45, and it shoots pretty much flat across the top of the water, or where the transducer is mounted, it's picking up any fish, any object that's in the water. So you've got water column right here between the 45-degree angle from where it comes down in the boat, or comes down from the transducer, to where it hits the ground. That's why you can see a little bit of crappie that are in that water column before the beam actually reaches the bottom. And then once the beam reaches the bottom, you can still see them. I have 800 megahertz here. I got the 3-in-1 transducer. But all the white is the fish. This black patch over here is showing the shadow, and that's all the fish that you see on top of the ground. And that's usually, if you have yours set on 400 instead of 800, you may want to look, make sure you're looking and see if you see shadows. You can see pontoon boat. Again, the motor, the 2 pontoons. the motor, and the 2 pontoons. When you look up here on 2D and down scan, according to Lawrence, shooting at a 55-degree angle. There's a little bit of overlap, but it's shooting straight down, not out to the sides. On 200 kilohertz is what I have this 2D sonar on. It's shooting a cone, like an upside down ice cream cone, at about a 33-degree angle. So it's shooting straight down. All this would look like I've got a lot of fish, or I've got something directly under the boat, when in fact I don't. That's showing you a pontoon boat, and then the solid metal bar. The break in between is the walkway. These little lines that looks like fish here and here, those are dock floats. You can confirm that on the 2D sonar, the down scan. That's a dock float right there. That is and as it shoots on out, it's going to be, those are dock floats that extend on the other side of that center walk. It's picking them up all the way over there. So this is the posts that are going up. That's the posts that are going up. And then you can see pontoon boat, and then a gap. That's another walkway. There's a dock float right here. And then we're starting to pick up the next pontoon boat right here. This pontoon boat is this pontoon boat. Pontoon motor. Pontoon motor. These two that you can see really well, this one right here is this one right here. There's the brake, there's the pontoon boat. So are these pontoons under the water? Well, no, clearly they're not under the water. Right here, it looks like they're submerged, they're sunk. They're 5 feet under the water, and they go all the way down to like 15 feet. What's happening is you're sending a signal down, it's hitting a hard bottom, it's reflecting back up to hard surfaces like the bottom of the pontoon boats, the metal bar, and that's returning back down and giving you like a second ping, a strong signal right there. So that's not a big old cluster of fish. If you only had 2D, you would think, man, if you're scanning a boat dock, I'm hitting a bunch of fish, when in fact you're not. You're about, here I'm anywhere, I'm scanning right from 10 feet away from the boat dock. And so you're seeing 10 feet, 15 feet. You're seeing that line of how far I'm actually away from it. So I just wanted to let you know that when you see this, when you're scanning a boat dock, really it'll make more sense to look at side scan. You can confirm things and bottom and things like that with down scan and 2D sonar, but it's a lot easier to understand what you're seeing when you're scanning a boat dock with side imaging. And also you can see that my range is set on 80 feet. So that's what I'm running. 60 to 80 is really all you need, because you're hoping to catch those fish in the water column so they'll stand out like this. It's a lot of times, now these stand out pretty good, but a lot of times it's very hard to see these fish when they're over the image of the bottom of the lake, because they blend in. And the harder return the bottom of the lake, the more to wash it out. If it's a soft bottom, it'll be lighter and gray color like you're seeing right here, and those fish are easier to pick up right here. But I got a little bit of a hard bottom right here, and then I've got fish stacked on top of it. You can still see it, but here's an example. Here's a really hard bottom, and there's a fish, and there's a fish, and there's a fish, and there's a fish, but it's hard to see because it's right on top of it's really blending in with the bottom. Or those look like fish. It could be a rock on the bottom, but more than likely that's a fish or two that's outside of the school right here. But it's really hard to see But what's not hard to see is when they're in the water column in the black. And the closer you can get to a boat dock, when you're scanning a boat dock, the easier, the more likely you are to catch those fish out in the black portion, the water column. They'll stand out. And if they're in here, they're fish. Unless you're actually picking up like I'm doing, well, you're going to see the edges of the boat docks like I'm doing right here. But the fish are going to look like little grains of rice or little stars or little dots, and they're going to be real bright. So I hope this information helps you out. I'm going to keep on scanning and marking a few more spots and finding more brush and finding more structure. And that's the best way to do it, is go and find them, throw a bait in there, try a few different colors. If I'm on a clear lake and I've thrown chartreuse or electric chicken and all kind of different type baits and not get a bite, but then turn around and throw a completely different color and they light it up. So, throw it a few different baits, see if you can get bit, just like we did back there. That way you know, hey, what am I looking at? Is that a school of bait fish? Is it a school of crappie? I mean, obviously that wouldn't be a school of bass, because bass don't school up and stack up like that. Not that amount or mass of them. And again, it's trial and error. I was fishing another community boat dock. I was actually trying to catch bait, and I saw a whole school of bait fish, and I threw a cast net on those fish and brought up a bunch of small bluegill, like 100 of them in a cast net. So, I had to dump those out. I wouldn't have kept them anyway. They were little baby bluegill. But I dumped all those back. But the only way to know, is it bait fish? Is it a game fish? Is it bluegill? Is it crappie? Cast on those fish. Try to fish for them. If you can't catch them with a rod and reel, throw a cast net. Thank you. Hope this helps you out. God bless. We'll see you on the water.